Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on probability part 1. It is the first in a series of lessons on probability. A special puzzle to warm up the brain cells is on the next slide. The answer will be given at the end. Enjoy. What is the meaning of the following? Good luck with it, it's a little bit challenging. If you would like to subscribe now, please do so here, otherwise you can subscribe at the end. Probability. What is probability? Probability deals with the likelihood or chance that an event will or will not occur as the result of a controlled experiment. The probability of an event A is the number of ways that event A can occur, divided by the total number of possible outcomes. Now here's a simple example. I've used a coin to illustrate. If we have a simple coin, one side is a head and the other side is a tail. This is an Australian penny. It's quite rare, we don't use them anymore, but we can use this coin to illustrate. Now, consider the two coins to the left. Each coin has a head on one side and a tail on the other. If we took one coin and tossed it in the air, what is the probability that a head will show up? So all we're doing is just looking at one coin. The only reason this diagram is here is to show you that on one side we have a head and on the other side we have a tail. But we are just using one coin for this experiment. So let's see what happens on the next slide. Note, there are only two possible outcomes when one coin is tossed. Either a head or a tail will show up. So, there is only one head and two possible outcomes. So here it is. The one in the numerator tells us that there is only one head. The 2 tells us that there are two possibilities, a head or a tail. So the probability that a head will occur is 1 over 2. Now some people might say 50%. That is quite acceptable. Others might say 0.5 in the form of a decimal. That is also acceptable. Another example. Consider one die. You might say, what's a die? Well, here it is here. The plural is dice. So when you're talking about a singular object, it's a die. If you're talking about two or more, the plural is dice. What is the probability that the number 3 will show up when a die is rolled? So the probability of a 3 occurring is 1 over 6. Why is that? Well, there's only one 3 on this die. That's why that's a 1. On this die there are 6 numbers altogether and they're all different. That's why you have a 6. So the probability of a 3 showing up is 1 over 6. An impossible event. An impossible event is as follows. What is the probability that the number 9 will show up when a die is rolled? Now look at the die here. It's a 6-sided die with the numbers from 1 to 6 on it. Okay? 1 to 6, that's all you have. There is no 9. So there's no way that the 9 can occur. That's why I have 0. No 9. Because there are 6 numbers, there are 6 possible outcomes. That's why I have a 6. So the probability of a 9 occurring is 0 over 6. Now from our simple mathematics, 0 over 6 equals 0. So whenever you see a probability of 0, that means it's an impossible event. A certain event. What is the probability that any of the numbers from 1 to 6 will show up when a die is rolled? So what I want here is, I don't care which number shows up, that is acceptable. Well, there are 6 of them. That's why I have 6 in the numerator. So the number of ways that can occur is 6. Of course, there are 6 numbers. The number of possible outcomes is 6. Of course, there are 6 numbers. So the probability that any of the numbers 1 to 6 will occur is 6 over 6, and that's 1. Whenever you see a probability of 1, that is a certain event. Conclusion. Events with a probability of 1 are certain events. They must happen. Events with a probability of 0 are impossible events. They cannot happen. Events with a probability between 0 and 1 are possible events. They may happen. The likelihood of an event occurring decreases when the probability gets closer to 0. So as the fraction gets smaller and smaller, the likelihood of the event occurring also gets smaller and smaller. The likelihood of an event occurring increases when the probability gets closer to 1. So as the fraction increases, the likelihood of the event occurring also increases. Here is a quick quiz to help you. Please check through the video at any time. What is the meaning of the following? The meaning is assault. You might say, how is that the case? Well, here is a donkey. Another name for a donkey is ass. This formula here is sodium chloride. That's the formula for salt. Ass, salt. Assault. That is pretty cute, isn't it? Now, if you got that, you have done extremely well. Here are the answers to the quick quiz. Please check through the video at any time to help you. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe on the next slide and you will receive a notification as to when the next video is available. Hope to see you next lesson.